You know I love the manager. You know I will very rarely speak against the manager, but I have to say, and I don't think I'm alone in this, I wasn't impressed with comments that he made yesterday, I think it was. So he was talking about the conversation between the media, Liverpool fans, newspapers, whomever it is. Just the conversation about Liverpool clearly needing a midfielder. And he said, I do not understand. People told me about this discussion, but the last thing that would have crossed my mind is that we have to do this, sign another midfielder. No, I can say that I don't think something will happen in midfield. You never know. If somebody comes to me and says, I want to go, but nobody came to me yet. If that happens, then we have to talk new. But if the situation stays like it is, then tell me, why would we? We can go through it. Where do you want to start? So Fabinho, no arguments there, Kloppo, we're with you. Henderson, yeah, he's okay. He's there. No problem. Thiago, sound. But that's where it pretty much stops Kloppo with regards to nailed on for me. Then you're going into the likes of Milner, who can fill in. Naby Keita, we don't know what Naby Keita we're going to get. Will we get a fit and focus Naby Keita? Will we get an injury-free Naby Keita? Or will we get a Naby Keita that goes through a season? Then you move into Curtis Jones. Still a lot of unknowns about Curtis Jones. Far from a guaranteed starter and far from good enough to be playing in midfield on a regular basis yet. Harvey Elliott, look, every belief in that kid, no doubt about it. And then Fabio Carvalho. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, I can't see what benefit he's going to be to the team this season. So look, respect Klopp massively. Very rarely disagree with Klopp. But I'm sorry, he's talking out his arse. We need a midfielder. We do need a midfielder. Look, if we can't get the midfielder he wants till next season, that's another conversation. But this kind of plays back to what I said to you guys before about us as football fans sometimes being spoken to like we're idiots. We aren't. We can see what everybody else can see. That we lack some dynamism in midfield. That yes, midfield doesn't really contribute to our goals as much as we'd like, but also the way we play, that's kind of par for the course. But we do need a midfielder. We do need another swashbuckling, box-to-box midfielder with legs, with energy, with the potential to make third-man runs and score goals. And Klopp knows that. And if he doesn't know that, let me just ask you one question. If you think that I'm wrong and you think that the manager's right and we don't need a midfielder, one question. Why did he try to sign Tchouaméni? If we don't need a midfielder, why are you going inquiring about €100 million midfielder if we don't need one? And if you believe that we don't need one, we do need one. And granted, if we can't get Bellingham till next summer, no problem. But stop talking to us like we're fucking stupid. We're not. We know we need a midfielder. Klopp knows he needs a midfielder. And that's where the conversation should end. Say he's not available. Say the one you want isn't in the market right now. Nobody will argue. But don't tell us that we don't need a midfielder, Kloppo, because we absolutely do. Now, I'm going to back this up a little bit more with some numbers from last season. So here's the output from our midfielders last season. Fabinho, you'll probably be absolutely amazed to find out, was our top scorer from midfield with 8 goals and 1 assist. Naby Keita came in second with 4 goals and 3 assists. Then you go down to our captain, Jordan Henderson, 3 goals and 6 assists. Thiago, probably his most active season for Liverpool so far, 2 goals, 5 assists. Curtis Jones, 1 goal and 3 assists. And Jimmy Milner, no goals, 3 assists. They're not exactly resounding numbers for midfield, either in assists or in goal scoring. And looking through that list, outside of Fabinho, Henderson and Thiago, probably Elliott, they're the guaranteed 4. Carvalho, huge talent. Curtis Jones, James Milner can do as a stopgap, but could we go through and play 20 league games with him? Probably not. So look, love Klopp, don't want to badmouth him, but absolutely 100% disagree with him that we don't need a midfielder. We do. And again, if we don't, why are we looking to sign Tchouaméni, Kloppo? Come on. That's my take on it. Anyway. Do you think Liverpool need better squad depth, or are you up there with City and Chelsea? Look, I think our squad depth is okay outside of midfield. I do think we need a midfielder, but I'm absolutely fine waiting to get Bellingham. But we do need a midfielder. We do. 25 million for Basuma in the summer. Why weren't we all over that? Well, he went for a lot more than that in the end. I think he went for like 35, 40 million to Spurs in the end. Is the Matheus Nunes or Nunch links reliable? Don't know, is the honest answer. You can throw another name into that hat though now for links for that midfielder. So it was just City and Liverpool. Now Chelsea's name have appeared to be thrown out there for the Sporting Lisbon midfielder. 23 years of age. I don't know too much about the guy at all, to be honest with you. Non-stop PWS said, we all know he wants Jude, which is fair. But my point is, how could he say that we don't need a midfielder? And then we know that he wanted to sign Tchouaméni, so we clearly wanted a midfielder. Danny has given us a quote from Kloppo. Said, Darwin has been here for 3 days and has massive blisters on his feet. We've all experienced that in our life and it doesn't feel any different for a professional football player. It's really painful. He's a number 9 who can play in the wing as well. I seen enough in Darwin's movement today, in his tenacity, and in the hookup play that I think is going to be top notch between himself and Mohamed Salah. And that's before we even bring in Diaz, by the way, because we didn't see Diaz for that last part when we seen Darwin on and we seen Mo on. Obviously, we didn't have Diaz on the left hand side, so I'm looking forward to it. I think they're going to have great relationships all around the pitch. Gossamer said, I really don't care what managers say because none of them say what they really think, and that doesn't bother me. It kind of bothers me to some extent, although, no, do you know what bothers me more, actually? The bullshit line of questioning that we often get from a lot of journalists, because they can't really ask the questions that they and we want asking, because we know they're probably embargoed from asking it, or that quite simply, if they push too much, then maybe they don't get the invites that they get to the next press conference, or maybe they don't get the access to the manager and stuff like that.